you have enjoyed your journey. You have arrived to the Sparkles of Gold Astrology Manifesto Livestream. Please step forward to the red line. Please enter your subspaced credit card. This livestream requires 23.42578 life credits. Insert your card into the machine. Waiting. Thank you. Welcome to your future. Brought to you by Sparkles of Gold Industries. Loading. If you do not have enough credits, turn around, go right down to level B. Take a left down to level C. Step forward to the orange line. Enter your subspace credit card and refill 100 credits. We will be waiting. We know it's been a long journey. Since 2008, you have been on your spacecraft and now you have arrived. You will be experiencing bodily functions that are not habitual. Please be patient and take your time. On your right, you will notice a mask. Please put the mask over your mouth. Take a deep breath. Please confirm your connection to me in the chat. Loading. Loading Hermes program. Load Hermes program. Hello. Welcome. Connected. Thank you. You have converted your life credits properly, Jendi. Anahira M. Thank you for your universal transaction of life credits. Sit back, relax, and let the live stream begin. You soon will see my face on your screen. Hello, humans from planet Earth. Welcome to my live stream. From your point of view, it is Wednesday. For some of you, Thursday. But here, every day is Mercury Day. Prepare for the transmission. From my mouth into your mind. In your mind into your heart. And let us chart the next 2 weeks. But really, beyond Mercury and the planets, there is one lingering planet in the background. One waiting, 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 waiting for Saturday. You know which planet I'm talking about. The Unearther. The Controller. The planet of power. Regeneration. And rebirth. But first, we must let go. Soon your journey that started in 2008 will end. Let us begin the ending. I'm going to surprise you all today. I think I'm going to take risks. I think I'm going to take risks because these are risky times. These are risky times. Feels that way for many of you. Living on the edge, monetarily, emotionally. End of the year into the beginning of the year. It's edgy. Survival of the fittest, sometimes it feels that way. But it's that, you know, it's at these places where you have no choice. You have no choice but to take a risk. And I hope wherever you are, live now or watching later, the changes and the risks that you don't have to take are the ones that you've already started to take. That you, in the last 2 months, have eliminated the extracurriculars, the distractions. Or maybe you're at the place where you realize what those distractions or extracurriculars that do not benefit your story, you are here. And at any time, I would say to be focused on eliminating those extracurriculars, those distractions. Or if you've done that already, you've taken some steps, it's actually the next 2 weeks. And so for me, Nicolas Polymenakos, a.k.a. Sparkles of Gold, this live stream's about Mercury, really. Even though we know what's happening this weekend with Pluto. But they're tied together. And I'll talk about that here on this live stream. A bunch of data is going to come out of my mouth. I'll put the charts up as always. But sometimes things change. And you have to go with the change. So, I will say hi in chat. And I will jump right in. Because I do have a lot. And part of this is planned and part of it isn't. That's how I roll. I want to say thank you to Anahira M with a super chat here. If you're watching in chat what's going on, she donated some money. Thank you, Anahira M. And I saw your comment on the other video, which I will talk about later. Remind me, people. I was on a particular podcast that got published today. I also want to thank Jendi for the super chat. Did I convert the life credits properly? You have. You have. Are we converting our life credits properly every day? Aren't we? We're constantly converting our life credits and exchanging them.
I want to say hi to everybody in chat. If I don't get to you all, I see Alex D and Jay Quinn, and I hear Jessica. Wake me from this. NZ Beer Babe, cheers. Joe G, hello. That's right. Joe G knows what's up. Just showed me the red card. Looks like I'm not playing next game. I will contest this. Off House Wigs, Erica, good to see you. Angela and Esmeralda, cheers. Savage Feng Shui, I hope you can hear me now, but you could see me. Bella and Esmeralda, I think I said that. Yes, let's do this. KP1231's confirming. Lisa, much love to you. 3. Jade, hey, I'm glad you're here too. And Ray Weather, nice glasses you have on your emoji. They need to have different, you know, the emoji with the faces? They need to be able to switch out the lenses, the glasses for different colors. That's some high level emoji. Okay, so cheers to you. Cheers to you, Funky Ma. Cheers to you, Funky Ma. And Earth Stara. That's right. That's right. Speaking of, we're going to talk about David Bowie, ground control major time. We got Capricorn we're talking about there. So, Lorian, good to see you also. And I will keep going here. Hello, Sarah Metlin. Hi, flying, Sarah. Good to see you. Canada Dry. Canada Dry says, with a super chat, blessings, Nicholas. I appreciate your soul. And I feel you working, and I see it with my fishy heart. I feel you always, man. Love this Pisces moon. Thank you, Canada Dry. Thank you, Pisces moon. And thank you, Hermes, on this Wednesday that's allowing this live stream to go down, where possibly where I live, there's power outages. If it happens, I even have a little backup to somehow pull this stream off. That I sort of wanted to happen to see if it works. So let's jump right in. Titi and X, hey, good to see you. Right on. I got some people here, don't I? I got to adjust some gear here. You're probably wondering what the hell I was doing with my voice earlier. It's an experimentation I came up with this morning. Let's see if it works. Hello. It's a little different now. It's a little different. Hello? Yes, there it is. Welcome to the live stream. Enter your subspace credit. Yeah. So, all right, let's do it. Angela R asks, are you warm in your room? I somewhat am. Got a little heater here. These lights I have on eventually warm me up. I'm thinking about the times I did live streams last summer when it was hot in here. Scorpio Muse, happy to be here. I need some of that warm energy. You got it. I'm going to give you what I have today, y'all. I'll give you what I have. And what's up, Devon? Good to see you. Devon knows what's up. I hope you're staying warm, brother. Things are going to change around here where I'm living. Stuff's going to start melting. People are going to start coming out of their caves and getting the necessities met. All right, let's do this. Okay, this particular stream, you know, it seems like forever that Mercury was in Sagittarius and it started as transit at the end of winter, and then when it did retrograde, it went into Capricorn, and then it went back. We know this, follow astrology. We know on the solstice, winter, summer solstice, we had a 0-degree Mercury-Sun conjunction that happened, you know, and we're still in this part of the game with Mercury. And last night, I was in the zone. I was in this place where there's fire on my tongue, and I still feel it right now. And so some things came to my mind. I go, okay, let's take a look at the aspects that Mercury's going to make all the way till speeds through Capricorn, and we'll talk about that, anything along the way, and whatever else came to my mind, you know. Today is January 17th. I will let me update this chart in front of me. I started this live stream with a Gemini ascendant to where I was purposely. I could have did it at 3, but I didn't. I wanted to see just because I'm a Gemini, and it was close to my degree of my sun. And I'm testing things out. And we know Mercury is in Capricorn right now. We're just getting the weather here, okay? So, saying that, I want to know. I got some slow fades going on today, and I could change this. Oh, wait, I got some going on over there I didn't want to have over there. What the hell? Why do I have that? Why do I have this? Yeah, okay, so let me get it together here. So you could see the chart here. It's a Gemini ascendant, okay? And I need to reference this. I had this in my head, but like, when did Mercury originally go retrograde? And here is on you see December 12th right here. Mercury stopped going forwards basically at 8 degrees Capricorn, and Nicolas. Hold on a second. I thought I had my annotator up. I always do this. I thought I had it. Hold on a second, man. Hold on a second. Oh, I know what's going on. This is when you're running 3 computers at the same time. So saying that, we're going to go back to my slow fade. And we are going to look. I see that comment, Devon. We're going to look at Mercury here. Remember, Mercury here at 8. I'll circle Mercury at 8 degrees Capricorn. So basically, it got to that point, and then it went backwards, right? And so now Mercury's moving forwards, right? We know this. We will look at when it turned direct, which was on January 1st. Let us remember, okay? We're going to go circle. We're going to look at Mercury here. It went direct at 22 degrees Sagittarius. So we've already gone over those places, but we're still not out of that place when we got to get to 8 Capricorn, okay? So that's just a little bit of a backup for you. And then where we are right now is at 3. Where Mercury's at 3. All right, and we'll point this out again because I don't have my annotator together, and I just need to, there we go. There's now 4. We're at 4 degrees here. And as you can see, Mercury, am I in this screen? My setup is weird today. You could see Mercury's heading to connection with Mars. So you might as well say this right now that I was ecstatic when Mercury left Sagittarius because of the connections it was made with Neptune 3 times in the last 2 months. A mutable square that was just confusing in my end and for a lot of people. And when we got to this last hit, it just seemed off to me more than ever. So when we had this past weekend happen, Mercury went to 0 degrees Capricorn. And that is the same place that Mercury had its conjunction with the sun on the solstice. A pure moment there of rebirth that Mercury does. And we hit that place this past weekend. And Mercury's starting to steam ahead. And I think it has the power right now. I like this because it's very applicable, and it will be all the way through to Capricorn and into Aquarius. And it makes some important connections with planets at certain times, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. So if you know this already, it's great. If you don't have a pen and paper, I didn't have time to do visual graphics. I could type that stuff out while I do it, but that's just asking too much of you and your attention span, considering that you spent 23.578 subspace credits to start this live stream after your journey since 2018 or 2008, the spacecraft journey since 2008, and you're landing right now, if you know what I'm saying. You're landing. You came through the portal. So here we are at 4 degrees. So let's take a look at a superb aspect that is happening while I make this live stream. You could probably see it happening already with Saturn at 4 degrees Pisces and here Mercury at 4, and so there's an applying sextile happening here. It's not exact yet. I also want to point out, if you are an Aries or Libra person, that you've probably felt some interesting stuff going on in the last 24 hours because of the moon going through the node and Chiron. And in a sense, keep track of moon and cardinal signs this year whenever they're aspecting the nodes, because they're chapters in a eclipse story that's happening all year in North Node Aries, South Node Libra. So we want to, if you're affected by stuff like this, pay attention. Okay, but we just had that. Some sensitive stuff, some fiery stuff, some cardinal energy here, as you could see, with all the Aries stuff connecting with Mars and Mercury and the moon coming through. In the last 24 hours, we had these aspects. Hey, April Heller, good to see you. I see you in chat. So saying that, we have a little setup here, right? We have a setup for the official something that I want to do right here, and that will be, and you'll see what I'm doing here. I'm doing it on purpose. So we're going to have Mercury. I'm dialing it in. Here's sextile Saturn in Pisces, CC. This happens exactly at January 18th, where I am Pacific time, 2024, 12:49 a.m. So it's already happening on the other time zones. But we dig this, and we want to take a look, and we'll take a look at Mercury. Here's Mercury at 4, and then here's Saturn at 4, and they're making this sextile aspect, right? It's water. You know me, y'all. You know I love my water-earth connections. It's been a lot of this has been happening in the last couple years, because of the transits that went through Pisces. Saturn and Pisces, Jupiter and Pisces connected with Uranus, stuff like that. Anyway, now Jupiter's in Taurus. So here's the Capricorn stuff, and we see this beautiful. I love this because of what Mercury's been through the last 2 months, especially with those squares with Neptune and Pisces. So now Mercury gets to play a strong game here. And for me, most importantly here is wherever you have Capricorn and Pisces in your chart, or let's say you're having this story, this particular story where things weren't clear during the retrograde for you, and you're affected by the mutableness of it all, and the backwardness and the elusiveness of Mercury and Sag and its connections to Neptune and a retrograde, that here now the wisdom we take from that, wisdom in the sense Sagittarius, Jupiter, the wisdom we actually could extract from that is clarity and definition between Saturn and Mercury. And Mercury in Capricorn is all about this. We got the ruling planet of Mercury and Capricorn here. You see what's happening. So it's like this is a superb aspect here right now and to tomorrow, and this will carry on a little bit. And we want clarity and definition and detail is on point here. And you could do this creatively, right? So it's again, if you take the chapters of the last couple months, and we're getting to this point of how I started the live stream, like you've been going through a lot. You're in certain situations. Certain things need to be let go of. You need to cut off the fat. You need to stay on your mission and goal. And it's a long one that here we get to have a clarifying situation and measure with the steps that the goal that Mercury and Capricorn wants to attain to, what Mars has already been doing and Capricorn is in the middle of doing. So, and Mars, let's just say this, is kind of came out from behind the sun there, and it's starting to really show itself out there, and it wants to, especially in Capricorn. And Mercury's coming along to help the story. And you could also know that Venus in Sagittarius that you see right now on the screen is going to do the same points. It's going to follow through here until it catches up with Mars. We'll get to that later. So again, clarifying definition with each detail in the task that you are on, the goal setting, the mountain that you're climbing, the mind power it takes to organize this stuff, to have consistency with the mind, to not let it waver and falter. And part of what happens here, I think, with Capricorn stuff that we like about definition and the business-like attitude here with the mind, it doesn't have any time. It doesn't have any time for the wavering and the exploration that Mercury and Sag had, especially with Neptune involved. It's like cutting right through. It's like over it and really wants to dial in to get it. These are the details for the plan to fulfill itself. And it's coming to help Mars here, right? And we also know by looking at this chart, hello Zenwell in the space, see you in the chat. We know that this is not separate from a Pluto transit. We see the sun here, it's going to do its yearly thing that it's done since 2008, where the Sun-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn. All right? So, but this is the end. One little spot later in the year, talk about that later. But we want to pay attention to Mercury here, I think, is delivering the goods and delivering the messages, and it's like, use this Saturn-Mercury connection, man. Just dial it up. You got a piece of paper, you got your organizer, you got the whole deal. Don't mess around. And if anybody's messing around with that particular, this goal and stuff that you want to get to, do you want to deal with, or the mission that you're on, or the things that you've dealt with pain and suffering as of late, the last couple months, and it's time, you're actually, and I don't mean this in a messed up way, if you're in the middle of an emotional processing place, I understand. This is the other side of the Capricorn, right? That the Cancer archetype gives us a safe space for enough time to move through things emotionally, however difficult they are, amazing that they are, or all of it, that you're in a place where you get to do that at a certain pace. But there's a certain here with reality, and if you notice that you're still processing and you still need to, and it's not quite right for you to take the step, you have my full support. If you notice that maybe you've done it a little too much and it's time to come out of sad cave and you need a little bit of help, this is where the help comes. Now, I'm not coming at you on an authoritarian way like Capricorn has had the shown us in the world since 2008, but we want to know in our personal lives that we balance the two, that there's times that we pull ourselves up. And these are the times with Mercury going through and Mars going through and make connection with Saturn. It's like, what else do you want? Like this is it. And this balances the two. And it doesn't mean that you're suppressing emotions and stuff. Just know that sometimes on a deeper emotional level with stuff, things take time, and you have to start to walk forward. There's going to be times where things come up again, and then you sit in that space and process, and then you keep going. To have the balance, try not to get stuck. So these are some of the thoughts I've had lately. Mercury's doing its job. Clarity, definition with each detail on the Mercury mission in Capricorn, and it's doing it and constructing this and clarifying this with Saturn and Pisces. And this happens at 12:49 a.m. Pacific, we want to go right in. Okay, let's just point out something here because I can't help it. We got some interesting things here too, because we have a moon in Taurus that's happening here tonight and so tomorrow that's helping this out. If you look, quick, like you're going to you see something already building, the next thing I'm going to talk about, but you see the moon coming here to help the connection to the Capricorn Earth to make a trine, and also its connection it will make the moon going through Taurus with Saturn. You see what I'm saying? Now you got some real support with the moon coming up here and some groundedness and stability. So, okay, so let's keep going. And let's go to the next aspect that I have here, which is the next day. You could see right here where I'm going. It is a trine to Jupiter, as you saw happening right here. And it just keeps getting better, doesn't it? Hey, John Newton, I see ya. You watch the replay later. Right, peace out to you, Jonathan. Kelly Watts in chat. Yeah, what's up? Got some lightning bolts. Cosmic Supermarket. What's up? I hope the supermarket's busy. I'm hungry. They got some like comfort food there? I need something noodles and a broth. So back to things. Let's check it out. So let's look at Mercury. Now it's 6 degrees, speeding up along. You see how fast it is within a couple of days? And then we're going to go look for Jupiter in Taurus, which we see right here at 6 degrees. Now it's fresh. We're 24 hours doing Saturn and Jupiter. It's interesting because a lot of times in the order of things, sometimes we have Jupiter first with the vision and pushing out, and then Saturn is the limiter that wants to crystallize the vision and put it together, right? But here it's the opposite, interestingly enough. And now with that clarity of Saturn and that definition and detail with the plan and not letting anything get in the way with the mind and the distraction, is Jupiter actually uplifts this. And, I thought this was interesting because you can look at it a couple different ways. Y'all let me know if the mic is sounding good here, but you can look at this a couple different ways, okay? So it's 1:30 a.m. By the way, I should do this for the streaming. 1:30 a.m. Pacific on the 19th. For some of you, you're somewhere else in the world. You know how to calculate this stuff for yourself. So there it is right there, Mercury. And there's Jupiter. I'm just reiterating here. But what does it mean? I'm literally saying this. I'm literally saying, what does this mean? You feel me? First, we're going to do this. First, we got the clarity with Saturn, and then we're going to say, why? What does this mean on a higher level? On a truth level? On a philosophical level for the Capricorn journey, for the Mercury in Capricorn journey? Right? So it's like, now we philosophize. We take a step here, and we had the Saturn crystallization and the container for good reasons. And now we get to bust out of the container a little bit. It's just how it's done. But really, from a mind perspective, from a constructive perspective of Mercury and Capricorn with Jupiter, it's the meaning of what you're doing. Another reminder of why you're on this path and what you need to do. There's the grunt work, but then there's, as human beings, that's the big part of us, is we think about the who, what, where's, and whys, and could have, would have's, and we seek out some sort of definition, some sort of truth, some sort of something to connect to ourselves. So that's what happens here with Mercury and Jupiter. It's pretty interesting 48 hours. I mean, some really good stuff if this is really affecting your chart. And, I'm going to stay positive about this. I can find other things in the chart or current things, but in general, for a general perspective, this is pretty good. And, with the force and the moving of Mars and Capricorn here that's already been set in the ground as sort of a scout planet, the mind comes in Capricorn, and it's like, I know the reasons why I'm doing this. I know the truth for myself. It's for a higher purpose, for a higher thing for myself. Then take that and you go. Now, let's just say that you waited till this week, smart by the way, you waited this week to start to initiate and talk to people or initiate a certain something. And let's say you waited this past weekend when Mercury hit 0 degrees in Capricorn, sweet spot. And I'm like, cool. I dig it. All right. Some people are going to say they're going to wait till Mercury hits 8 degrees, which we haven't yet here in this chart, and wait till it gets to the point when it's stationed retrograde. Okay? But I feel good about if you started with the 0 degree. And we're at little steps here. And so it's like right here, Mercury's moving along, but you got Saturn, Jupiter. And so like, okay, now let's just say you initiated something and you went somewhere. Okay? In a conversation or whatever. And we're talking about, it felt pretty straightforward and cut and cold and dry with Mercury and Saturn, and now I got Jupiter. It's sometimes a byproduct of Mercury, Jupiter, no matter if it's, I think, because it's by trine here, it's vibing, it's positive. Still, things could get like, there's a couple extra words. Maybe there's a misunderstanding. Maybe there was too many words. Maybe the reaction you've had is too many words, right? So, but we're not going to let that phase us, because inherently we have Taurus moon here and we have Earth, and it's not going to phase us. It's not going to, other people might get emotional, they're off track or whatever. We're still going to be steady, but we're not going to react. And if there is an over words, too many words or whatever, Mercury, Jupiter, we know what's going on, and we take the lessons from Mercury, Saturn, and we keep it together. We stay focused. That's why in this case, we have Mercury, Saturn that sets the plan. It's clarified definition. We kind of stepped out of bounds in a great way with Jupiter, and then we come back. We needed to step out of bounds a little bit to clarify some things and know the higher purpose with all this. So it's like, okay, but just remember, come back to the Saturnian way of things. And keep it level, okay? But for the most part, I'm feeling pretty good about it all, right? That's good. I'm going to check chat here in a second. I do want to point something out here in this particular chart, this slow fade that I got going on. We want to point out something, though. This Venus in Sagittarius is still in the game. Venus is, by the way, speeding up right now. And what you'll see in the charts is slowly speeding up to do its conjunction with Mars that's going to happen in February. One of my favorite transits of the year, by the way. But saying that, we're looking at 25 Venus here, and we are looking at Neptune now in Pisces. So we got a Venus-Neptune square with all this here right now in this week. And we had a clue when Mercury hit these places and Mars hit these places when it went through Sagittarius, and then when Mercury went through Sagittarius during the retrograde and after, the 3 times that Mercury squared Neptune, here comes Venus. And you should know by now what's clear and what's not clear, and what's real and what's elusive or mentirosa, like a lie. So there's that. Now, if you want to use the Venus-Neptune, sure could feel good. You could change this into a therapeutic type of thing where Venus is seeking out the way it does love and its fiery way of showing love in the world, and there's a Neptune influence involved here where it's almost religious, right? It's at this other level. But remember, Mercury's done this and whatever. So at this point, we if you have some confusion here or you get lost in the pleasures, which is cool, go get lost in the pleasures, But remember, you could go back to the Mercury, Mars, and Capricorn, the way it's vibe with the other Earth planets in the water planet. So I just want to say, I don't want to stay too long on this. But, we have to point this major aspect out, okay? Venus-Neptune is happening this week too. If you have a Venus-Neptune signature in your chart, let's say you got Venus-Neptune opposition or a square or something like that, or Venus-Neptune conjunction, holy shit, I don't know. How do you get through life? I don't know. It's like, you just like get lost in a Netflix series while you're smoking a blunt and having a drink. There's one way. Other people, they're going to a retreat center and they're dialing in by dialing out, vice versa. There's all different ways you could look at something like this. If you have a Venus-Neptune signature in your chart, more power to you. Just don't go too far, will you? And keep it together, okay? So that happens 7:48 on the 19th. We have Venus square Neptune. Couldn't help it. You had to bring this up. All right, so let's get into something really interesting, okay? And if you don't know this already, Sun conjunct Pluto is happening at 5:45 a.m. on Saturday here in the Pacific time. Huge effing aspect that's been huge for a couple of years now, basically. Year and a half now. We know this 29-degree point in Capricorn. It's a big deal. It's so interesting that the conjunction doesn't happen in Aquarius officially, that it happens in Capricorn. If you want to talk about an ending of things, this is a dramatic way of doing it, okay? Now, if I'm correct here, we basically don't have another, and we're going to gut check this, another Pluto-Sun conjunction in Capricorn, okay? And to prove this, because I just want to prove it live on air, we're going to go look later on. Right now, I'm going to switch the chart up. Wake me for, I already, Kate, I see you. My sissy sent me. Well, thanks to your sissy. And WTK, what's up? Leanne Patterson, I also see you. Let me go and chat really quick here. GRP Jelly, good to see you. Come out of the sad cave. Zen Wellness Space. What's up, Zen Wellness Space? Shout out to you. I think I got everybody. April, I think, too, I saw in the chat. April, how I saw you. So, all right, so let's do it for kicks, okay? For kicks, let's just go. And this is what we're going to do. This is sidetrack. I didn't plan on this. Let's just take a look. Well, if you don't know when, well, we're going to do it this way. Let's take a look now. After I said this, then Pluto goes in Aquarius. It's within hours. So now you see the chart here. The Pluto goes in Aquarius. First of all, it was Sun-Pluto conjunction at 5:46 a.m. on the 20th Pacific time, and then it's at 6:07 a.m. So let's count this. It's 11 minutes later. You have this happen. There we go. You're going to have this. 11 minutes later, you're going to have this. You have the Sun go in Aquarius. Happy birthday, Aquarius. Happy birthday for anybody who's got a 0-degree Aquarius birthday. You basically have a Pluto year coming up, a Sun-Pluto year. Woo! You are the main actor now on this stage. You've already had a hint of this. Well, anyway, we'll get into that. So we're pointing this out. Now, here's Sun in Aquarius, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so tangent. Let's do this right. We're going to go look to when Pluto's going to go retrograde, because now Pluto isn't, right? And we're going to go look. Here's May 2nd, right here. We're going to look at Pluto May 2nd. Now, Pluto just went all the way to 2 degrees this May of 2024. This is 10:46 a.m. for people, May 2nd, 2024. There's Pluto, 2 degrees. I have to take a deep breath because I have something in 2 degrees Aquarius. Okay, so let me say this live on air. Some of you know parts of my chart or whatever, but let's say officially here. Let's just say it. I got an Aquarius moon at 2.5 change. I'm officially saying here, we're pointing out that Pluto's coming for my moon publicly. What is going to happen to me? This is what I wake up with every day for the last 5 years. But here I am. I'm just saying this, not to make it all about myself. It is my fucking channel. But it's like, Pluto's It's not exact. It doesn't make it all the way to my moon exactly, but is there, which makes it even crazier, by the way, because if you have any outer body planet that stations on a planet of yours and it's right there or right before, it's like you just don't get through. That means you're going to have 3 planetary hits on your moon like I'm going to have. So, possibly 4. So that's no joke. Okay, enough of me. We're noting. We are noting. All right, so here is when Pluto goes retrograde May 2nd. Let's keep going. Let's go look. We're going to go look to see by the month. We're going to go forward. I'm going to do this really quick. Here, basically, we see in August that Pluto's at 0 now. Okay, this is in August, the beginning of August 2024. All right, we're going to go another month. We're September. Now, you see what happened? Something changed. We got to go find the day. It changed. Okay, so it just changed. I was right on point. Right there. So basically, you'll see here, September 2nd, 1st, 2nd, or whatever. This could be slightly off. I'm doing this quick. Now you see Pluto at 29 degrees. The point of this week, the point of how we started talking about how this Sun-Pluto conjunction is going to happen at Capricorn at 29 degrees. On the 20th here. But here we are, September 2nd. We're making a note. Here it is. The last time that Pluto's going to be in Capricorn while we're around, unless some bullshit changes with staying alive. Don't sign me up for that. I want to die. I do not want to carry on like that. So but first, let me live some life. That's how it starts, right? These fucking billionaires, they're all trying to do shit like this. They're trying to keep themselves alive because they want to do that because they want to live some life. So that becomes the excuse. They're like, I want to live some more life. Like, how much more life do you want to live? And it's weird because it's like, humans are playing with a sacred game here. And this is my opinion. They're playing with a sacred game. And in the weirdest of ways, you could say it's a very Pluto and Capricornian story on a mass level with somebody have to do with like holding power. Like, let's not only hold the power over people, and extract their blood, sweat, and tears and their finances. I'm going to don't want to die. And I want to do that as long as possible. And I want to keep living my life because I still have more things to do. How much more do you have to do at a certain point? So they're going to keep themselves alive. And then so they still have to extract shit from people in the earth, in the fucking universe. And they're trying to beat a Saturnian and Pluto story at the end. Death. Don't sign me up for that shit. Rant over. 29 degrees. We will keep going. And this way, we're going to do it. When is Pluto stationed direct? Out of retrograde. And here we are. And let's get to it. Here we are at 29 degrees on October 11th. This is it. And now we start to move forward. So we're making the connections to this particular week. Right? We have a station at 29. All you people with a 29 cardinal, you're almost fucking done. After 2 years of 29 degrees on your cardinal 29 point, you're almost there, okay? If you got 0, you're almost there in one way too. 0 fixed. So we're going to do that, and we're going to speed up forward. We're going to go, okay, I know next, right? We're going to go then, when is Pluto ingress in Aquarius? And there it is on the 19th of November of this year. You see Pluto in Aquarius on Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. All during, mind you, this 29 degree area that you saw in the fall here moving forward. This just so happens to be running through the presidential election here in the United States, which in a sense, the political parties involved, regardless of who they are in a sense propped up and have become propped up for the most part by mega corporations, especially when the certain acts came through where corporations were deemed as individuals. And we have a story from 2008 all the way to now, and it's happening during the presidential election in the United States. And I know it's affecting other parts of the world. We're already seeing it. So here we are at this fucking incredible place. And it's on the 19th, and that's where Pluto is at 0 degrees. And it doesn't go back. Now we really do the deal. But we have one little thing to take care of at the end of the year. But we are pretty much here. And this is Saturday now. Thanks for hanging with me. And there is Pluto in Aquarius and the sun in Aquarius. And we walk through the gate. We walk through now, and we've been in and out sort of this gate in the last year, as you guys know, if you've been following, but we're walking through. We saw what's happening later this year. It's a brief 10-week period, something like that, where the Capricorn thing happens. One more hint, one more thing. Let's just throw that wrench into the world political game, just for kicks. This is why, for me, talking to you now, let's not talk about the politics. But let's talk about you. These couple weeks, let's point out why I'm doing this stream and what I'm using. These couple weeks with Mercury is the biggest tangible mind setup for you walking into Aquarius land. Okay? So if you think about it in a plan-oriented way, and if you think about you sifted through the retrograde, and it just so happens the end of the year, the beginning of the year, and you sift through this stuff, and you're like having to be dialed whether you like it or not. You have to be dialed with this. We use this. We used Mercury's connection this week to Saturn and Jupiter. We're getting ready to walk through the door. We're getting ready to walk through the Pluto door, really, here. Mercury is, Mars is going to do it, Venus is going to do it. So with Mercury, though, because of how fast it's moving, it's starting to push. This is like, we want to use it. We just want to focus, whatever. That's why I'm doing this stream. That's why I dig this. And we're going to keep going. I wrote down here. I wrote down for this particular day. Let's say you're into doing things and writing things down, or blessings, prayers, altars, simplistic stuff. I wrote, especially in the 20th, I wrote, purge the unnecessary. Purge and clear your mind. Because you're getting ready for that. But purge the unnecessary. Okay, with some Pluto in Capricorn. And you take it in Aquarius if you want. You kind of have a door, you walk two doors. You're leaving one door and walking through another. So before we walk in through the new door again, you know what you have to do. Even if it's here, if it's just here, not an action, but even if it's just there and there in your fucking heart. And if you have fear with this stuff, I get it. Because of your personal stories you might have and the connection to the world, what's going on out there. And it seems on shaky ground, doesn't it? But we want to create the stable ground for ourselves where we can in our lives. That's why we're using the Mercury transit in Capricorn and the Mars. And yes, is it messing with certain parts of your chart that can be brutal? And Mars and Capricorn, get out of my way, doesn't want to hear any tears or crying and all that shit. Buck up, it's all business. That's part of it, is how your relation to that is. You have to like balance it. You have to figure this out. All right, so Gender Goblin, see you. I see you in chat. I'm going to get to chat. I want to bust through this. So that's the 20th. Okay, so let's go. Now we're going. We just had Sun walk through the door. Happy birthday, my beautiful Aquarians. We dig you, my water bears. You take that jug and you fill this sucker up. Let me do this right. I always forget that I'm like doing this. They're not a water sign. I'll just keep it real straightforward and simple. This jug, let's say you are planet Earth, you watching. And I take this amazing something that you've created and made, and I bring it to my lab, and I tweak it, and I refine it, like with my mind, in a way that no one's ever thought about before. In a way no one could understand, at least for now. And I'm so used to doing this that I'm alone a lot of the time doing it, because people because I'm living this way on the freaky side of things with my mind and other things, that I'm not in a normal line. Tangential thought here. Go listen to the Pink Floyd album called Animals. Front to back. Okay? Listen to the whole album front to back. And go read the lyrics. There's a particular song called Sheep. Okay? They're walking alone, and they're taking whatever they took from Planet Youth and they put it in the scientific realm, and they create something, and they're progressive, and they turn it into something else. And they pour that something else back into this. Back on the planet Earth. Back to you. That's why we appreciate the Aquarian story and archetype, and they do it in a fixed Saturnian matter. There's still a system in a way, and even in the progressiveness, in the weirdness, and the abruption of it all, they still have a system, a fixed Saturnian way of doing this that's consistent. So an amazing transition of two signs, by the way, in the astrology world when we go Capricorn to Aquarius. Saturn, okay? So, hey, Bella, see you in chat. So, let's keep going, okay? Happy birthday, Aquarius. Let's go to the 23rd, and I want to show you something here. Let's go. We're going to sidetrack, even though it's a Mercury live stream, but I'm delivering messages to you. Mercury delivers. Hermes delivers. We're going to look at an ingress that's going to happen with Venus. And just because I can't help it, and it's connected to what we're doing now, and it happens on the 23rd. You will see here that on January 23rd at 12:50 a.m. Pacific, a lot of these aspects and ingresses on the Pacific time are happening right after like the next day starts for the West Coast people. If you're a vampire like me, you're up. So here we are. We're going to pay attention to Venus. Just enters Capricorn now. And now Venus is really starting to move forward. And if we go back all the way to the Venus retrograde story that happened in Leo, and then it went through the sun, and it's come out. It's done Venus. It's went through Venus and Scorpio, which was, you saw my streams and my readings on this kind of stuff. It's a Sagittarius. It's covered all the ground that Mercury did. Here we got some practicality coming in when it comes to resources and the resources that we create and the assets that we deal with, whether it's of real assets, whatever you consider assets. And there is relationships going on here with Venus and the feminine, but Venus is bringing up the actual rear here to this, and we just want to pay attention to this. And we know by what we've talked about already with Mercury that Venus will eventually make an aspect to Saturn. Right? And it will do trines to all the Capricorn, to Uranus and Jupiter. And it will connect eventually to Neptune. So know that for my Capricorns out there who maybe have dealt with some stuff that you got some weeks here where it really starts to kick in for you. And I know it's not perfect. And I know some of you who are watching this, who I talked about using Mercury here, now Venus comes in to throw in a little bit of the rules in the relational game that we need. Right? That we need this, and so I like this. I like it inherently. The day, by the way, that it happens, you could see the moon in Cancer opposing this. There's a little bit of spice going on. So that's what we're going to, I have to mention this, right? That happens at 12:50 a.m. All right. Now we're gearing up to something here. If you haven't paying attention to the moon let's just do it. See the moon's in Cancer here on that Tuesday the 23rd, and you see now the sun's at 2 degrees. Aquarius, like, okay, where's the moon? What phase is it in? And I'm not going to answer that. I want you to answer it in the chat right now. What phase is the moon in right now in this chart? If the moon is in Cancer, and we have an Aquarius sun, I'm going to look in chat. I'm going to wait. I'm going to look. Nadia Diz, I see you. You too, Moon Sprout. I see you in chat. I'm sorry if I'm Sunbeam Network. What's up? You guys are really flirtatious on the chat, by the way. I sometimes I don't catch this stuff and I catch it later. I'm like, man, what are they trying to do here? These people on follow my channel, like they're like trying to throw game, you know. I know it's all in good fun. So so Nestle, good to see you. Moonspot. So again, if you haven't, Travis, I see you too in chat. We're getting to the full moon here. That's pretty much happening, right? So we just we're not at full moon yet, but that's what I'm getting to next. We're at the part before. Wayne, somebody answered. Wayne and Gibbous. Thank you, Levity. Wayne and Gibbous. Bravo. All right, so here we go. Or no. Right. Wait a second. Waning's after. Waxing is. So 11 corrected. Thank you. It's waxing gibbous. What we're doing here, because it's before the full moon, we're waxing towards. Oh, you guys are jumping in. Thanks. Which leads me to the deal. Okay, so let's get to it. We're gonna get to the basically here on the 25th at 9:54 a.m. we have the waxing moon now hits its perfection to a full moon that happens in Leo, and we go right here. Let's point it out right there at Leo 5 degrees. There is the sun. Hey, Pluto's involved in this one, just like the new moon that happened with Capricorn that we had with the Capricorn sun around, still around, you know. So there's a Plutonian thing off the bat with something like this. This happens at 9:53 a.m. We make note of this. We're also making note of something else. We're paying attention to Mercury here as we're doing on this last live stream. It's really close and it's waxing towards its conjunction with Mars. Now the word is really sharp and it's building to this place of really some proclamations are being made or wanting to be made on this goal, this journey of the Capricornian mountain that we're climbing and the things that we're having to shed and not get in our way of our future goals or our future mission. And Mercury is, this full moon has this signature there. I also want to point out that Mars, we're going to point out Chiron at 15 degrees, and we have a Mars-Chiron square that's happening, which means Mercury's involved in here. So this is sensitive. It could be very sensitive conversations for Aries people or people who are dealing with Chiron and Aries, because we have a caustic square that's happening with Mercury and Mars and Capricorn here that's just saying to Chiron and Aries like, buck up, get it together, you know. Rip the Band-Aid off, put another one on, go forward. Now, if you've been doing the work for your Chiron and your Chiron and Aries, you know, I have been. I just can't avoid it. You have learned a lot to this point, and you'll take the business-like manner and the sharpness of mind and what the mind power does with Mercury and Mars here, and you will apply it in the right way. Something has to change in the Chiron and Aries story. Something has to change in the next chapter in the eclipses story, the North Node, South Node story. Something has to shift here at this point, and it's an interesting place that gets ready, I think, is a major chapter that is connected to the eclipses that will happen at the end of March and the beginning of April when we have the eclipses in Aries and Libra. So we are there. Okay, we are there. Someone's dropping 11's dropping a Cocteau Twins reference here. Glory to you for that one. So there we go. We're going to point that out. That full moon, I'm not going to stay here too long. We're just paying attention to major aspects. We want to pay attention again. Mercury now is at 14, making its, the next screen is going to pop up with Mars, and this happens on the full moon. It's kind of a rambunctious verbal day here that's going on. I won't talk about, I can't help it. Jupiter right here at 6 degrees Taurus. We see what the hell's going on here. Squaring this, squaring that. We have a major T-square on this full moon. It's a hot and heavy one here where Jupiter at the center point in the apex of the T-square. You see the opposition that happens here. You see the square that Jupiter's doing to the fixed sign sun, and you see what it's doing for the moon. Okay? Jupiter ruled by Venus here in Capricorn. Go to Saturn. There's some thing here about the rules and stability and the enhancement of the rules possibly, but then, Leo and Aquarius here have their own ways of doing things and like to break free with their individuality, but there's a lot of tradition and rules going on in the rest of this chart. That's all I will say. That's for another live stream. Yes. Give me a second. I lit some frankincense and it's done. You could tell when you burn your resins. You burn your resins and you hit that place. And I go look at the candles they have. And I'm like, I got to put it out. Just got to make sure I don't burn myself down while I'm doing this live stream. So there you go. There's the full moon. That's on the 25th. I mentioned Mars Chiron. Let's go to what is inevitable. And we will go like this way. This is an aspect. We will go Mercury and we will go square. The little guy we were talking about, this is on the 26th pretty much within hours, less than whatever. We see here that Mercury now is still coming up to Mars, but it's officially making its square to Chiron. I have to point that out. I'm also going to point out here too, really quick. Here is the sun in Aquarius at 6 degrees. And if you're putting this together, you see the Jupiter square that we talked about that was part of the full moon. It is exact also on the 26th of January at 11:18 p.m., which is the 27th for a lot of other people. We are pointing that out. But we're going to point something out that's mega here. Hello, Violet at Conjunct Boutique. Good to see you. And we're going to point something else out here. Something we should be waiting for, and I think is a pinnacle point of the month and for the springtime. And here we will do it. I will do it officially so you see what I'm doing. You will see that I'm looking up. Maybe you can or cannot. I don't know. I have to keep going here. At 11:35 p.m. Pacific, you will see, and for those of 27th everywhere else, at 11:35 p.m., we have, I think, one of the most important parts of the month and of the spring is when the planet Uranus stations forward. It stops going backwards. Let me go find it. At 19 degrees in Taurus. And get ready now. At this point, there are no retrograde planets. We have none. We've been waiting for this, and it's still in the first month of the year. Now, we're going to kick ass. Now we're going. Even if you don't want to, you've been hesitant, doesn't matter. Life is going to take you. And you could see why I did this stream the way I'm doing it, because there's a series of events here that happen really fast from the time I'm doing this live stream into the first week of February that just pushes you. And if you're stubborn and you don't want to go, you're getting a cosmic kick in the ass to go. There's no way out of this. So at this point, whenever we have something happen with Pluto and Uranus or Neptune, we have to mark it. And if you have planets in fixed signs at 18, 19, 20 degrees, get ready. Here it is. And so let us point out, at this point, I have the 27th, but you could kind of see what's going on here already. We're pointing out Mercury here, the player that I'm talking about today, and you see it's waxing because it's moving really fast. It is applying to, a trine here with Uranus, and Mars is too. And Mercury at the same time is officially getting to the point of its conjunction with Mars. And let's go to that. Let's go to Mercury-Mars. And we will do this. I'm going to blast through because I got a lot of other things I want to talk about that have to do with the charts. So here's the 27th at 6:58 a.m. Pacific. You can now see Mercury's officially hit at 17 degrees. Its conjunction with Mars, and it's applying to the stationary Uranus. So this is volatile, I think, but not in a bad volatile way. If it was Mars opposite Uranus, I'd be like, all right, whatever. But I think here, I love this. I'm like, bring it on. bring this. Okay, this is another moment that goes into the sharpness and clarity. Now, this is a little different because when I started this live stream, I talked about Mercury in Capricorn in its sextile with Saturn and its trine with Jupiter. That's while I'm doing the stream, it's the next 48 hours basically, right? And we're still carrying this, right? We're coming through. And now that sharpness is like a honed weapon with Mercury-Mars conjunction in Capricorn. And not only that, it's something possibly new, of a new way of doing this because of the surprise that Uranus brings, the abruptions that it creates, the out of the blue situations or something pushing through that needs to elevate or evolve in particular in its relation here to the earth signs, to Taurus and Capricorn. So we have a nice, interesting trine here. And I think this stuff is movement. If you're looking for it and if you want to feel a part of something, that is really the core of this live stream in particular, by the way, is I think for one to feel embodied and to feel like they are a part of moving something themselves, and not where it's just life moving you, where you feel like you can at least steer the vehicle, steer the story a little bit, or fully possibly. Just depends on your situation. But you have this amazing thing. Now, let's be real about Mars, Mercury, and Capricorn. This could be hardcore, though. It's not. You talk about the sharpness of tongue, business, all business. People who can't handle the what they would say the constructive criticism. A lot of times it's about the delivery. Right? It's about the delivery of messages, how they're coming across. And if it's criticism, how does it come across? Can the Mercury and Mars connection come across in a way where it's really, truly constructive? And can a person on the other end take the reality check that's involved and not take it too personally? Or does it go too far with Mars, Mercury, right? With its agenda of like the reasoning and what's behind all of this, right? What's behind Mercury and Mars's word. And, you could take a clue back to what I talked about earlier. Saturn sextile Mercury. And then what we have here next couple of days, the reasons why when Mercury trines Jupiter and Taurus this week, the philosophical truth as to why. And that why and those reasons come to a place like this that you see in the chart. And you have to check yourself. Why am I doing this again? What is behind the mission? In what way am I coming across? In what way am I attaining this goal? And how am I using my mind and my communication skills to do this? Now, if people can't handle the truth, it's one thing, but you still can be conscious of the way you are applying this, right? Uranus could help you in this way if you're run out of options or you need something, a new way of doing this. And this is where Uranus and its trine to Mercury and stuff that's building pretty much the next couple of days. But it's a moment here where this comes into play. We're also going to take a look here on this day. You think it's like a full moon or something, but it isn't. We're looking at Venus at Capricorn at 5 degrees and its trine to Jupiter. So I'm digging it. Is there the moon in Leo? Whatever. Yeah, it's going to pass through. But you see things here. For me, you have this amazing trine that's happening, and then it's backed up even more by Venus in its sextile to Saturn, the thing that Mercury is doing this week. So for me, if we chapters of a story, and me, now I'm going to be done ranting about this, is superb aspects here. Like, again, we could always find something. I'm plenty of times in the last 2 years on YouTube, and I will in the future, I'm going to talk about how effed up things are. And we're going to have tough situations this year in our personal lives and politically. It's going to be more tuned up than it's ever been. But if you can find the basis for yourself and your vision and be constructive, regardless whether you care about politics or the distractions, that's why we're getting rid of distractions during this month. We're setting ourselves up so when we do get distracted, when we do get sidetracked, we come back to what we have been building here in Capricorn with the help of Saturn and Pisces, Neptune and Pisces, with the Uranus and Jupiter and Taurus. We're setting ourselves up. So this is the way I'm looking at it. And we know inherently in the deepest core for everybody, it's a Uranus story and a Pluto story, right? So done with that, we know I wrote here. And let me get to something here. I'm skipping. I wrote for Mercury Mars, sharp and clear objectives. Go big, but stable and with honor. That's what I wrote. I don't know why I wrote that in the middle of the night last night. Saying that. That's Mercury Mars on the 27th. We're also going to point out here, I'm going to do it on a chart really quick, that we know the nodes here, that Mercury's squaring the nodes. Okay, so part of the eclipse deal. We're going to keep it together. We're going to go. I realize what's ahead of me. That's why I'm going faster right now. And now here is Mercury at 19 degrees, and you see the trine that it's doing to Uranus here on January 28th, 1:06 p.m. Pacific. Now it's official. New astonishing ideas. New astonishing part of the Mercury in Capricorn story. The Capricorn story. There's something coming through that in one way, I could say that this is a vetting process too, is what I wrote down. That these connections that Mercury's doing in Capricorn and the practicality of Capricorn, when it's climbing up its mountain mission and hitting various aspects and planets and relational stuff and in full moons and all this stuff, it's really weeding through things. And if you talk to anybody who has Capricorn stuff when they're dialed in, they will tell you on the business end, they'll have the success and they'll look a certain way and people are coming to them for advice. But a lot of times, if you get them off the stage and you were to buy them a nice mug of something and a good meal, and they started to relax a little bit and not worry about stuff for at least 2 hours, that if you started to talk to them about how they got to this place, they're going to basically say that they just had to weed out through things, that it was a constant adjustment at work, that it was putting out fires constantly. No one can see this stuff, and that all of it was a vetting process to know who and what tools you have in your life that are consistent with your goal orientation, with your mission that you're on, and who's on board and who isn't. And along the way, you start to see who's not on board, who can't step up to the game, who can't do it, and who's all talk with no action, right? And so they will tell you this, and they won't say it publicly. Sometimes they will, but in this end, they'll go, how did I do this? That's how I did it. I had the right tools, the right people to call when things were falling off the rails. They corrected. I reimbursed them for the correction. I know I can use them in these situations. I found these people to help me with the particular task at hand, and they were on board. These other people I basically fired out of my life. Out of my life. So when Uranus here, when you're looking at a chart like here, when Uranus or what Mercury's doing this whole time, when we get to the 28th, this is another vetting move, really, because Uranus is connecting with Mercury and it's bringing something else new. But part of it is still part of a vetting process in the end. It's just how it's happening. Ahead of the game. That's why we plan. And when the head of the game moments happen with Uranus, you are ready to swipe up and grab. You are alert, breathing, and ready. You are relaxed but alert. And when the opportunities come, you just react. Venus. Just because we are here. Now we have Venus at 6. We see the official trine with Jupiter here at 6 on the same day, the same weekend here. It's just flowing. If you are into earth and water, you got it. Take advantage of it, okay? So here we go. Let's keep going. We're going to go to the 29th here fast because I have a lot to bring up on this stream. And I think now it's officially Mars doing this too. We see Mars at 19 making the trine with Uranus. The story continues, just power-packed. Okay? Venus and Jupiter still vibing. That Mars trine Uranus happens on January 29th, 3:40 p.m. Pacific. All right. Okay, am I done? Nah. Let's stick to Mercury here to the end. And this is the reason why. I'm going to skip up to a particular point here, and I'm almost done, and I'm going to jump. When I'm done with this, I will jump in and chat. And we are going to get to a place that's on February 2nd. Okay? And I might have to come back. Actually, let's go by the day. So we're going to go Mercury here. Now it's, that's where I wanted to go. Now you see here on the 4th, you see Mercury is at that 29-degree place that the Sun and Pluto is at, this important 29-degree thing. This happens on February 4th, Pacific. Mercury's there. We're making a note, right? But along the way, and I think I skipped this. I did. You're going to see why. I was on point here with my timeline, and then I sort of jumped ahead. And no, Nicolas, there. We're going there, here. And it's on February 2nd, actually, at 2:54 a.m. Pacific, that Mercury, and I forgot to mention this, actually here at 25 degrees, then finally makes a sextile to basically Neptune to continue the story. After all the aspects that Mercury and Capricorn has dealt with, and I forgot something on this stream. I'm not going to go back. It had to do with when Mercury hits 8 degrees. I forgot about that. Whatever the case is, after everything that Mercury's been through and the work, the mind power that it's needed to do, the focus and the clarity along the way to keep the ball rolling in the mind and not let anything waver, right? Mercury gets to have an oasis moment here. Mercury gets to connect with Neptune and maybe take a deep breath in their mind. Maybe they are on a lake. They are on a lake? And they're on like an inner tube on the lake. And there's a warm breeze. There's those trees that sometimes you see on the West Coast at farms where they're like small leaves, and when the wind goes through, they make this noise. It's beautiful. I love them. I forget the name of these trees. Whatever the case, they're surrounding the lake, and Mercury and Capricorn maybe here doesn't like let off the gas per se, but kind of does, and just takes a break. Just with Neptune, like, hey, I did all of this. Like, I'm almost done. Whether they know it or not, they got to meet with Pluto here very soon. But on this moment, they're on the lake on the inner tube, and they're letting their mind flow. And Neptune helps take the edge off a lot of the journey of the scrapes and bruises in the battle and the good things that have happened too with Mercury. It enhances this, but there is some sort of possible just oasis moment of the mind here. And we want to calm our minds here. We want to take this place to calm the brain, to clear it out in a different way. It's not Mercury Mars, right? It's Mercury Neptune. And so in this place, we get to dream a little bit and we get to relax. And we also, in the most organic, natural of ways, things we discern in not an anxiety way, but in a relaxed way. Because a lot of times Neptune dissolves and eventually does bring clarity, and other times it doesn't. It fogs things up. But I think this is a different kind of clarity moment. Not the clarity that Mercury had with Saturn, or the types of ways it was thinking philosophically with Jupiter, and the sharpness that Mercury did with Mars. After all of that, it gets to hook up with Neptune. And I think this brings balance to a lot of the work up the mountain, that on that mountain lake, you get to take a break and dream a little bit, regenerate spiritually, right? And this is important to say to all this, because we was this work, we're climbing through, and I'm doing this live stream, we're going through fast, but we have to take advantage of these moments, even in the world, because we know the world, the way it works, and the rapidness of always having to do things with every single bit of time. And this is part of the Capricorn story, if we really think about it, through 2008, what Pluto's done. Yeah, there's the power and control and all that politically, but also what time has meant. It's that Saturn being the ruler of Capricorn, and what time is, and how you construct time, and the ruler, Kronos, ruler of time, and how time is sped up because of technology. So yeah, we have to hustle more than ever these days, and whatever, we have to occupy every single bit of time. Everything is 24 hours. Things never used to be 24 hours. So moments like this, we take, and we let ourselves fall into Neptunian waters. Eventually, Mars is going to do this in Capricorn, and Venus is going to do it too. It's a good way to go out. So saying that, the imagery of an inner tube warm on a lake is what I was feeling yesterday. And fuck it. Let's do it right now. Just at this moment, because it's like a prophecy. I'm not, I don't know. You make this pull. You make this pull what you want. You ask whatever. I'm not a tarot card reader officially, right? It's my life. I'm not, but fuck it. Let's do it. Because we're at this moment. I'll give you 5 seconds. Count. 1. You got it? All right. I'm not looking. See? Come on, Nicholas. Can I dial this card in? There it is. It's Judgment. Wow, that is a fucking Judgment card. Look at that. That's like a bomb. There it is. Look at that. Damn. Holy shit. Now that. It's funny that's the card because of what I think a Capricorn story does, of the discernment, right? The Saturnian parts of things. People are going to know a lot more than I do. I know a little bit about tarot, but I'm not going to preach here about that because I let other people do it. But there you go. That was a little side thing. February 2nd, Mercury is going to sextile Neptune. And I'm going to show you one last chart. Let's do it right. And, we got to end it this way. And it's at this moment here on the 5th. Judgment. It's an hour and a half live stream I'm doing right now. On February 5th, 4:57 a.m., Mercury walks through the gate of Pluto, basically. And pretty much before that, 29 leaves and walks through Pluto. And now the sun has done this. And now Mercury has done this. And that is the end of your Mercury and Capricorn little forecast, is Mercury walking through Pluto. And I want to look in chat here. I wrote hello and goodbye is what I wrote for this. And I want to look in chat because I see something in chat here that had to do with the card that I pulled. I'm going to start with the House Oft Wigs, which is Erica, who does this. This is her thing, amongst other things. And she says, it means the situation will be judged fairly and understood through discernment. Thank you. It's a pretty wicked looking card there. I'll tell you the deck that it is here in a second. I see Judgment equals Destiny. But yes, I feel really good about what I said because Erica, because you're the person. So I feel good. I feel like I'm learning these days. But thank you for that comment. And for the other comments I see here in the chat, Bella says could means you make a judgment, establish boundaries, standing in the water with mountains behind him. Oh yeah, and the card there. Did I already lose the card? Yeah, it's weird, this card. The big examination. That is what I pulled. I will tell you what deck this is. This is actually the Toro del Toro. Guillermo del Toro, the Mexican director, collaborated with somebody else to make a deck. I really love this deck. I saw it and I was on it, you know, and I love this deck. I'll put a link here to this. Thank you for listening to my weirdo forecast that I did. It's a lot that I threw out here. I lose subscribers when I do these live streams. I don't give an F, but when I do my other videos, they show up. But here, let me do this right. I'm going to pull something up. Where am I? I'm in my channel. And I'm in my live stream. And I'm going to bust this here. Actually, I wonder if I could do this like this. Yes, I can. And so here's the deck that I'm talking about. This you'll see it on bookshop.org. This is on my bookshop.org page, but this is a guidebook inspired, you know, there's a book. I don't have it here. It's in the other room, but this is the deck right here. It's a beautiful deck. I mean, I just pulled another one here. Like you could see the devil card right there. It's just the artwork of Guillermo, like his influence, you know. There's Knight of Blades. They call blades. Wait, I gotta do it. I'm not. Let's just go like this. Knight of Blades. It's a really trippy, kind of dark, but like very interesting. So there's that. I will put a link if you're interested. I'll put it here in the chat. Nestle, good. I know you were in chat. I missed you. I'm gonna put that there. I got it. It's unfortunate that I have to do this, but I'm gonna do this also in chat. This is the this version of it on my affiliate accounts, Amazon. But you'll see there. Nestle, thank you. Oh, Nestle, I want to say if you're still here, this brings me to another place. I'm going to go here. Creepy Kidda, I see you. Nestle, if you're still here, if you're the same person, I want to bring up something. Caroline Jones, because the Erica who goes under the I want to bring this up. This is the time. The House Wigs in chat is also here. I'm going to show you. I got my face up on the screen. Is here. And this is the Queen Meb website, queenmeb.com. Some of you who follow me on Instagram saw a story that I put up the other day that was here. That recently here in her shop, some horrible person decided to throw rocks through this person's window. She has an amazing shop here in Portland with a lot of the items that she creates on her own, and she also has books and other people who create in a community and so on and so forth. It wares for sale from crystals to books to teas and incense that she makes and all types of other things that Erica does. And I just mentioned this, and so the cost of doing this, of replacing the windows, and it's already hard for small businesses. Now you're going to magnify this too if we are in the esoteric world and what we have to deal with publicly, and you decide to do a brick and mortar store. These days, after going through COVID, going through everything, then, you know, to have certain stupid things like someone like try to get in someone's way that brings beauty and glory and has items for people to help in their lives with their rituals as practitioners and witches and whatever you want to call yourself. You know, I it gets me. I don't like this stuff. You know, what I like is to support people and who need it. And so if you're into this, you could see that she's got a code to help her out. Yeah, and she's also in Portland. We have a major ice storm here. So not only that, to close down businesses for 5 or 6 days here. So we're losing cash for our small businesses, women owned, by the way. So it's like, you know, for me, I will put this particular link in the comments too, if you feel free to do that. I know there's one person in this chat room that has already done something and helped Erica out. And I want to say thank you to you. And there's a couple other people that I've heard have done this. And you're doing it the way I like. You're doing the Aquarius story the way I like. Because if we take anything from Pluto going into Aquarius, if we're going to in a way that is uplifting, evolving, and positive for the next 20 years, it's that. It's our cohesiveness together as human beings, whether in person or online, that we have to have each other's backs in the most simplest ways. And sometimes it's dramatic, whatever, but we can't let people who are full of fear, who are scared really, and act because they don't know how to deal with fear and certain things, that lash out at those who are standing in good. And so, we step up for each other then in these moments, right? And then when those moments don't happen, we pay it forward, we do it with other people. Everything works out in the end. And it's not some new age hippie shit that I'm saying. It does work out. I got picked up the other day. I got off the plane in an ice zone. I couldn't get out. I didn't know if I'd get my car jumped. The guy at the shuttle picked me up. I could tell I go, where are you from, man? He was like, I'm from Kenya. And I go, are people being nice to you with this ice storm? And he just said to me, he's like, yes, they are, because I'm nice. Because I'm a believer of you just do things simply in the world and you live that way. People will come back to you that way. And it's not trying to get some on anybody. It's just kind of natural deal. Like anybody who is a practitioner or does whatever knows, it doesn't, stories don't evolve really quick. But if you stay in a focused mindset and you come from your heart and you're creating from that place, and at the same time you're living on this planet, and the things that you create you need to sell so you can feed your family, your kids, to have a life where you're doing something that makes you happy, we support that. We do that. That's life. And so if something like that happens, we go, I know what that feels like, or to feel like a roadblock, or to feel pushed down by the world or community or person or something. It's like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to be at the mercy of someone else's hate and anger, right? So it's like, for me, if I take anything about Pluto and Aquarius, I could even bring back Mercury going through Pluto here. Now the mind, after everything is done in Capricorn, it goes through Aquarius. It's like, how then I took this thing, I built this thing. Now I want to share it to the world. What idea, what amazing stuff did Mercury and Capricorn and the aspects happen? I went through Pluto, and then I go there. I'm like, wait, it's not all messed up. Yeah, do we have a crazy political year? Yeah, with Pluto and Aquarius. 20 years, a major fundamental shift is coming our way. It's already happening. But it doesn't mean that you are not empowered. It means all the work that you're doing now with your mind, you take it and you bring it. And not only that, you get to bring it back. And you get to pour it back into the world with your crew. So we're not letting anything get in our way. So if you want to support my friend or anybody else out there, or you let me know, I'm all for it. It's like, and that is, I'll be done with that rant. So I want to say, for those, I can't catch up with chat. I'll do it later. But I just want to say thanks. Let's keep going. And hey, CC.99, good to see you, Purple Heart. So there's that. This is my readings page. I'm going to do something here you're not going to see. Live stream ago, I did something. I basically mentioned, for those, I have some people get a hold of me because they're looking for discounted readings that had to do with the eclipses or nodes. I am turning something on my website right now. Let me do this again. I am adding something publicly right now. It's only going to be up there for the next 5 days. I updated an appointment type on my website, and here it is. I got my regular stuff, and I added a lunar nodes in Aries and Libra session. I had this briefly last fall. I came up with some price. You see it there. Some people have asked me personally, payment plans. Got to work it out with me. I can't do shit for cheap, but I can always take a discount off the price, which I did here. If you're interested, there it is. I'll put that in the chat. I must keep going because this stream turned out to be long, but I'm going to keep going. And because I got a couple things else I want to bring up. And let's see if I can keep it together here. Couple things. I did the tarot deck, right? Oh, here. Okay, this book I mentioned here. This is an old book on Venus by Ronnie, Gale, Dreyer. Okay. I know there's a lot of other Venus books out there. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up again is because I think right now is the last 24 hours. If I am correct, let me do this. For Ronnie's Kickstarter. She wrote this years ago. I think it's late 80s, early 90s. And I forget how old Ronnie is. Maybe in her 70s. Brilliant astrologer. Brilliant Vedic astrologer too, by the way. Just does Jyotish. Just a really cool person. And it looks like she hit her goal, but when these Kickstarters, they go back and forth, so I don't trust it. There's 24 hours to go on this. She's basically raising money to reissue this Venus book and bring it up to modern terms. She is one of the first people in, let's say, since the 90s, because Venus and the Inanna story and all that stuff got really popular. A lot of other people have done content and books on this, but she's already talking about this in the early 90s. This book is harder to find. If you're going to do it, I would donate it to the Kickstarter. She's an amazing astrologer too, and a really good person. And I will put that in the chat if you feel called to. I think it's $50 to buy in on the book, but I think she's signed. She's got some other packages there too that are like, I think, let me see. Let's see. Hold on. There's the signed one for $50 to buy in. There is a Venus, the ebook is $25. There's an interesting one here. The signed one's $100, but there's an interesting thing here is this one. If you or feel called to, it's the book along with a reading from her. And she's been doing astrology for a long time. If you're out there watching, Ronnie, props to you. We'll connect soon, okay? For something we had talked about before. But that is what's going on there. If you feel called to this, and just, let me just read something. Oh, God. She's talking about Babylonian astrology, the Venus tablet of Amistuupa. I think I pronounced that right. She goes through history here. Early mother goddesses she goes through the Bronze era. I mean, there's history here along with, and I will show you. She starts from early mother goddesses to Paleolithic Europe, Bronze era, and then goes to Mesopotamia. And this is Inanna, Ishtar, and Babylonian astrology, so on and so forth. If you feel called to, check it out, support her. Then she goes through the astronomy of Venus and then goes through the actual astrological parts of it. So there's that. Wow, wake me from this. I just found that book in a local bookstore. Good, you scored. So there's that. What else? There's something else I wanted to talk about. I haven't got into this book yet. Just picked it up. Theurgy, Theory, and Practice. I will throw this here. I'm really psyched. I'm backed up on my reading. But here it is. We will read the explanation. Explores the many theurgic themes and events in the Odyssey and the Iliad. Analyzes the writings of Neoplatonists, Porphyry, and plus it just keeps going. Basically get back to Chaldean oracles and how they were used and so on and so forth with history, so on and so forth. I can't wait to get and read this book. It's Theurgy, Theory, and Practice, if I'm saying that correctly, by P.D. Newman. There's that. I will throw that in the chat también. If you're into that, if you're not, it's okay because it's getting to whatever. There's that. Okay. What else I had planned here, because it just tells you what's going on in my brain before I leave. There's this link in the chat también. All right. So I got 2 books, tarot cards. What else? Oh, yeah. Okay. So there's a couple other things. Now, I'm going to have to get off screen to look for this. And this is something that can benefit many of you out there. I am going to, first off is the Washington State Astrological Association, which is the local group in Seattle that I spoke for last fall, by the way, and I've been connected to them for a long time. They and I will put this now on my thing. They are giving away 5 G's in scholarships. This is huge. I mean, they got a war chest over there now. The group, the president, Courtney Blair, is the president, and Laurel Nalbany, I think, is treasurer. A couple other people, Joy Vernon's on there, the board, and so on and so forth. They're giving away things. I'm going to put the MailChimp thing so you could follow this here. So if you're in the astrology world, you want to take classes, go to a conference, you can apply for this. You'll see here, it's $5,000 away in scholarships, financial need, diversity options. The deadline is February 1st, right? When Mercury's doing some funny things, right? That we talked about. You could see the link in the comments with Washington State. For those who are financially challenged, they have diversity scholarships for those in financial need or in a person living with disability, a member of a historically marginalized ethnic, gender, or sexual minority over the age of 60, also, or intersection of any of the above. Selected applicants will receive up to $500. Conferences, schools, whatever. You could use it whatever that's on the thing here. Or you could do whatever. Go apply. Go for it. You want to go to a conference? There's a particular astrologer that you would like to take classes from? There you go. Apply. Maybe you'll get it. Too bad I'm not teaching any classes. One day, maybe I'll be wacky enough to do that. And when I actually know what I'm talking about. So, there's that. So, and then in that place, I will also get off the screen to set this up because I have to do this. Let's see if I can find this. And this also is in the same realm of things. I'm thinking about having a live stream benefit for what I'm about to talk about. Oh man, what the hell? Hold on, be patient with me. All right, there. We're gonna go to. I wonder if I can find this. And where are you, buddy? Where did you put this? Maybe it's here. Oh, there it is. All right, so let's do it. So now on the same realm of things, I want to bring up. I'm on Samuel Reynolds. I don't know if you know Sam. He's an astrologer. He's a old homie of mine. Great astrologer. Great person. Great lecturer. Unlock Astrology's website. You can follow him on Instagram. I know he's on that other platform I don't even like to name the name of because I can't stand it. But Sam Reynolds on his website pretty much has the information involved for those who want to apply for the diversity scholarships for NORWAC. Okay, so basically this has been going on 8-9 years now. A long time ago, I was having a conversation with Laura Nalbandian, who runs the conference. Hi, Laura. And there was a certain type of conversation that happened. I won't get into the details. Other people could talk about this. But basically, I'm like, yeah, I have some possible hookup information for you to talk to somebody. And it was Sam. And out of the conversations that happened with all that, Sam and Laura, and there's some others behind the scenes, came up with these diversity scholarships. And they have changed astrology conferences in general and really changed the NORWAC conference, and really by reaching out to those who need something like this or the resource of this, it changed things in the conference world, in the astrology world. I'm proud to have a little bit of part in this. Over the years, they have fundraisers every year to fund this. But this is a huge one this year because it's 40-year anniversary of NORWAC. This is 8 years now. We're doing this. You could see these pictures here. I know a couple of these people. You see Sam, but these are past recipients of these scholarships. There's many other people out there. Cameron Allen was my boy. Cameron. I met there, like Mecca Woods, who's speaking at the conferences here. Just a roster of people which are mentioned here. Here are the benefits of what this is. So let's say a person, this scholarship isn't for you to qualify. You can donate to this into the hat, right? But for those here, the scholarships have expanded. So it's like, let me throw this link and you could see the application process. And I will tell you right now that this isn't some half-ass application process. Like, you got to be present. If you're out there and this is pertaining to you and you want to do this, get it together, man. Like, get it together, because I know there's a lot of people who apply and they go through a process of seeing who comes through and what they say in their essays and so on and so forth. So let's get back to here. So basically, Norwalk will provide 10 full in-person registrations without meals or workshops. So 10 in person and 5 virtual or in person scholarships for seniors over 60 years old, and 5 full virtuals, not in person at the conference, for astrology students who are underrepresented at astrology conferences. There's more. You could see that the in-person people, diversity scholarship recipients, will be granted a conference registration along with $400 extra to cover their expenses, probably to help you get there. You still got to get a room and do all that, and you got to find a crew of people. But just find 5 people, take the room over, and chip in. Anyway, there's more there. You could see all the stuff, but you see it says applicants must write a 300 to 500 word statement in the application process. So it's a serious thing. The deadline for this is on the 6th of February. I have an idea for this one. I might do something, a live stream to focus on this. I don't know if I got to figure it out. I don't know yet. But again, there's the link. I think I put it in chat. Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up. It's a lot I threw out at you. If you know anybody that would possibly benefit from the scholarships and the links, please share it. Let them know. If you are out there and you're watching this and you are like, let's say when it comes to diversity scholarships, right? And you're thinking like, yeah, that's for me, or I'm living over whatever else, like, go for it. If you don't think you can write a 300 to 500 word statement, if you were going to take anything from this live stream about Mercury and Capricorn and the connections that are being made with the other planets, is to construct it. That even if you don't think you can do it, just write something off the top of your head and find somebody else to help you put it together and just go for it. Because you never know. But and I'll tell you, if you somehow can make it virtually or whatever, that conference has changed a lot of people's lives. It's changed mine. I've had everything happen to my life. Good, tears, everything. I'm planning on being there in one way and possibly another. So I'm done talking about this. Qualified applicants may be physically challenged, a member of a historically marginalized ethnic, gender, or sexual minority, or over 60 plus, or an intersection of any of the above within the United States, Canada, and Mexico. There you go. Do me a favor, people. Spread the word about this stuff, right? Let people know. And I always enjoy when I'm at that conference and meeting anybody who's new, but you just never know. You never know who walks through the door. I just heard a huge rumble outside. I don't know what the hell that was. But you never know. And again, I'm looking at the list here. I'm looking at like Janelle Belgrave, Colin Bedell. That's right, Colin I met there. Taylor Schuler, I know. Like I just amazing people and just in general, like when you're there, like the different age groups, diversity, everything, man, it's just like a melting pot of loveliness, you know? So it's like, I don't know, man. Talk about some Pluto and Aquarius stuff and community building and, you know, what it means and what can mean. It's not just in the astrology world. It's in your own personal world, whatever, you know. Yeah. So, okay. So I think I'm done. That's a lot I threw at you. This is a 2-hour stream, but it was very important that I do this. I put this stuff up. I might cut it and edit it later in smaller chunks. Okay, now I'm going to end with something else that's very important that happened. So you could see. And let me see if I can find it. You're seeing what I'm doing right now. You're seeing what I'm doing right now in the community tab. You see it right there. And here it is. here is a podcast that was launched at 12 p.m. midnight tonight that I was on with Melissa. I don't know if you're watching. Energetic Principles podcast. There I am. I'll put the link. It's a 2-hour and 40-minute podcast we did for the Aquarius season and astrology-wise. We talked about a lot of things about the transits, some of the stuff you heard today, but a lot of other things about Aquarius stuff in general. Please go support her channel. She's close to 1,000 subscribers, and she's been doing this a long time. That link is in the chat. When you have time, you can listen to her and I and go talk about some very interesting things about the transits through the Aquarius birthdays, a lot of Pluto and Aquarius talk, some interesting personal tangents that we go on with some of this stuff, and some things that she brought up that were really interesting and fascinating. You can also see in her chat that she put another link up that has to do with a Pluto and Aquarius podcast we did. It was 10 months ago. It was Melissa and Elodie and I who did a thing. So we may do something again after the transit starts to kind of check in with our initial. I'll throw that in the chat too. You will see. There's that. There's Elodie, an amazing astrologer also. They're both amazing astrologers. Melissa's a tarot card reader, musician. She just had a Kickstarter for her tarot of her deck, a circular deck she's doing with a friend. Elodie's a fabulous astrologer, 9th house astrology. If you follow her, superb writer. Shout out to you, Ellie. Give me a call sometime, will you, girl? Like, come on, give a shout here to Nicholas. So I'm giving you a shout. So there's that. And yeah, so those are all there. Now it's going. I know I had like 80 people watching. I know why they dropped. It's a lot here, but it's okay. It's okay. So now I want to check in chat and say goodbye here. But please check out Energetic Principles and do me a favor. I like doing stuff like this. It's like, go into the chat and leave a comment after watching. Go, hey, Sparkle sent me here, and say what's up to her, because she's a good friend, man. She's been so cool with me. I just a superb human being, Mel. I see you out there. Okay. So there's that. All right. And so let's start to say goodbye to chat. Whew, a lot today. I did it a lot. I have major chapter markers to make. All right, chat. Let's say what's up and say goodbye. I want to thank everybody who came along for the very beginning of the stream. I had 2 people donate. Thank you. In case you want to donate now, there's a donate button, a super chat money button. If you've already donated, don't donate again, okay? Please. Yeah, I can't go in the chat, but I know you guys are good. I want to thank everybody for stopping in. Isabella, good to see you. I said wake me from this, and Bella beat Dizzy. Hola. Yeah, I did it. I need to eat. I have other work to do. I'm going to try to put out a video this weekend on a particular something. Michelle, you are welcome. Thank you to you. If you're interested in a session with me, you know how to get a hold of me. Privately, sometimes I can break it up in payment plans. I still have to pay my bills, though, So there's that. Oh, wake me from this with the super chat. First one. 999. Let's celebrate this. Thank you, Wake Me From This, for the donation. I appreciate that. Right on. That's a good way to end. Wake Me From This. Cool. Angela, you're welcome. Sarah, good to see you. Hopefully see you soon. The local astrology group that I corralled together in Portland, we're having our meetup next Tuesday. It was postponed. You can go find that on Meetup. Or Sabrina Monarch is going to talk about some Leo stuff there in person. We do that in person next Tuesday in Portland. Bella, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. Scorpio Muse, farewell to you. Hi, Violet. Thank you. Take care, Jendi. Nestle? Yes, for sure. For sure, Nestle. Okay, and then to end things, It's inevitable. You got something in your world. You got a storyline in your world. Or there's certain things in your life that need to just shift and change or say goodbye to, or just elevate or pull out of the dirt or whatever, right? If you know what that is, no wavering, at least for the next couple of weeks. Those who will understand will understand. And those who don't, they don't. And you just keep going. You move forward. Also, too, sometimes things come back around, You never know. And that's the beauty of all of it, is you never fully know. And so that's the attitude I'm taking right now. I, in particular, have some challenges, but I'm like, just got to follow the feeling. Follow that sparkle that comes up in whatever way. It's in your dreams or something you see out there, through a song or something simple, or the song that's inside you, that comes back. Are we set off on some wild journey with Pluto and Aquarius? Jupiter and Gemini is going to happen this year. Eventually, we got Uranus, Jupiter, things going to happen spring. Uranus eventually is going to go into Gemini down the line. Shit's going to change, man. There's like stark fundamental changes here. But when we're dealing with a Pluto story in the end of something and walking through, it all depends on your connection to what regeneration is. And if you can walk through that fire, that underworld, that place, with whatever tools and guides that you have, and you will take your licks. It's just part of it. But if you know why, and you know the direction, don't let anything stop you.
Don't let anything stop you. We want to thank you here at Sparkles of Gold Industries for your 23.345 credit donation to this live stream. You are welcome to return for another adventure. In your life, your story. Marcy Alexander in chat says, I just found you last night and glad I did. Little did you know what door you walked through, Marcy. I'm glad you're here. Shout out to you for we discovered each other. You're more than welcome anytime, and that means anybody else not in chat. Those who watch in secret. I know you're out there. You're doing your work too. Give love, get love, hello. Marcy's got a Gemini stellium. Welcome aboard. Kelly, you are welcome. Welcome, Carrie. Kelly says, thank you so much for sharing the links and messages as well as the detail of courses available. You are welcome, Kelly. Thank you, give love, get love. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay, so it's time to go and say goodbye. And I'll see you on the other side. Close your eyes and make a wish. And think of your favorite dish. This episode of the Sparkles of Gold Astrology Manifesto Livestream was brought to you by Hermes Industries. Come again next week. Wrong time, different place. Another space is the place. We want to thank you for your patronage. Walk through the portal. Don't look back. Walk through the portal. Don't look back. Through the portal. Don't look back. Through the portal. Don't look back. Through the portal.